Good evening, everyone. It is February 3rd. It is 6 o'clock on the dot, and time to call to order this meeting of the Gallatin City Council. We begin each of our meetings with an invocation and a pledge of allegiance. So I'm going to ask that you stand with me, please, and Councilman Alexander is going to offer our prayer and then lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Mayor. Father, thank you for always watching over us. Thank you for caring. Your word says that you care for the sparrow that falls from the nest. How much more you must care for us. We thank you for that. Thank you for how you watched over our city and our workers, Father God, this past week during the storms, Father. Thank you, God, for all of your provision. We ask tonight, Lord, that you'd be with us in this place, Father, that the words of our mouth, the meditation of our heart would be acceptable in your sight. O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer, I pray in the strong name of Jesus. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Ms. Kittrell, would you please call the roll for us?
Vice Mayor Hayes. Councilman Alexander.
Present.
Councilman Carter.
Present.
Councilman Fan.
Here.
Councilman Fennell.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
And Councilman Juvance is absent, but we do have a quorum.
Thank you. We have no minutes for your consideration for approval this evening, so we'll move on to public recognition on agenda-related items. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an opportunity at the end of the meeting for public recognition for items that are not on the evening's agenda, but the beginning of the meeting is for items that are on the agenda. If you would like to speak, you'll come to the podium, you'll give us your name and your address for the record, you'll speak to the item that you're interested in. I think you said you'll have 5 minutes, and then you will we'll proceed with the meeting. So with that, public recognition on agenda-related items is open, and you may come forward if you wish to speak. And the crowd is not jumping to their feet to rush forward. That's lovely. I'm going to move on then to Mayor's comments. Certainly, I want to talk just a little bit about the storm last week. I cannot tell you how incredibly proud I am of our city departments. And at the top of that list is certainly our Public Works Department. Truly, and I've been doing this a long time, but I want this council to know and I want citizens to know that until this event, I had no idea how well we compared with what we have in the way of equipment, with what our planning looks like, with the skills of our staff, I shouldn't say I had no idea. I had no idea how well we compared. And when I learned more about the preparation that was done, the amount of salt that we put on the road so that we would be able to clear as quickly as possible, and then the hours that the Public Works folks worked, not just clearing roads, because as you know, there was so much damage, and the equipment that they had to assist them in their work, it has really made a difference for our community. The diligence, the commitment, the personal care, I talk about that a lot, but I felt that a lot this weekend. And those folks over there certainly did work around the clock. And I'm not discounting what the other departments did, and I'll talk about the Department of Electricity in just a minute. Certainly our police and fire were there. GPUs had their fill of water breaks since the temperatures started to thaw. But the Public Works Department, working to make sure that things could be cleared, things could be accessed as quickly as possible, has made a tremendous difference. And for people's information, they are going to be beginning brush removal. We will not be doing bulk pickup this month. We will be focusing strictly on brush removal. Mr. DePriest has moved really swiftly to make sure that we have a site so that we can collect and unload as quickly as possible, but residents do need to be aware that it's not all going to be cleared up in a week. It's going to take quite some time because there was a ton of damage done in our community and all the surrounding areas. I would also mention that our departments were very generous, and our city was very generous. Our citizens were very generous in helping the areas around us who fared worse than we did, and I appreciate that. Talking a little bit about the Gallatin Department of Electricity, We certainly hold the record for getting the power back on quicker than any around us. Again, I think Public Works is a big piece of that because they could work in concert with one another. Where Gallatin Electric needed to go, Public Works could go and help make sure that the access was there. One of the things that I want to point out, because every year I get the great pleasure of taking phone calls from citizens who are irate because we have butchered their trees. And now in the future, I will have the opportunity to say, remember that storm in 2026? Because truly that has made a difference. And you may hear other departments talking about how they've abandoned tree trimming programs. And you look around our city, and there are still some, branches around lines and stuff, but by and large, our lines were clear. They fell in some yards, they hit some poles, some different things happened that did affect some power, and obviously we did have a lot of power outage. But that tree trimming really made a difference for our community. And so while it's painful to see when it happens, there is a good reason for it, and I think this proves that. And so I'm very, very grateful that they have invested in that they have stayed diligent with it, and that they worked also around the clock to get our power restored as soon as possible. And they could give me an update at any given minute. How many people without power? How many were large outages? How many were, one-off outages, and what they were doing to address them? So, just so many compliments to our city staff. Police, fire, Public Works, GPU, our Gallatin Department of Electricity, and everyone else that contributed. Certainly, even our finance department, they had to be here on Monday. Our Parks Department was having to take care of their facilities so we could get reopened as quickly as possible. And we did get reopened quickly, and so I'm grateful for that as well. I mentioned certainly to the Center County EMA and Gallatin Free Methodist Church, a group that I'd never ever met before. And one lady there just decided that she wanted to open a shelter because it was going to be freezing for anybody that might need to seek refuge from the cold, having no idea that it was going to become a refuge for a whole lot of people that lost power, and even someone who lost their home in a fire. But their congregation, and many, many community members apparently responded to meet the needs of people who needed help. And so my compliments to a very small church that has worked really hard to serve our community. And to give you all an update, we did stand up Gallatin City Hall as a shelter for a brief period of time with the Red Cross. We only had one person come here, Northfield. Also then opened thinking there was going to be more need because of the extended power outage in the surrounding areas. But I think what we see is a lot of people in our community, they have friends, they have neighbors, they have places that they can go because, again, they really didn't have any people to come to their facility. But this facility was utilized a lot, and they certainly took care of people, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I think that's it about the storm, unless anybody has any specific questions or comments or anything that you want to know that I haven't addressed. Mr. Fennell?
Yes, I'd like to piggyback off what you said, Paige. I know that I tried to call you a couple of times and found out you was making sure some of our employees was fed during the hours that they was working. But one thing that made me proud was that I had 20 people that stayed in my house and lived in my house while their power and water was out, and they was from Hendersonville and they was from Nashville. So it never made me feel as well, and it's grateful to our employees and to also the infrastructure that we got in place. Thank y'all.
Mayor, I had an interesting lunch today. I was ordering lunch, and the owner of the restaurant recognized me and said, would you please pass on that as a small business owner, had the Public Works not so quickly treated everything and got everything open, said we lost zero business. Obviously, Monday probably wasn't a huge day for them, but she said we were open every day. We could feed whoever came in. And would you please pass that on? And I did that to Mr. DePriest. Excellent, excellent job. Even Strange Circle was blocked. Both houses were blocked for a while. So street department got that. Public Works did. Hail froze over. Hail Avenue froze over. So it was a bad storm.
Well, I know I looked out the window, and it was very, very late at night or early in the morning, and there was a trackhoe going down my street pushing branches out of the way. And I thought, oh, bless their hearts, they're still working. But you did, mentioning that There have been so many businesses and so many individuals that have complimented our city workers, our city staff, and I'm grateful for their acknowledgement of their work. And there are also several businesses that have helped our departments. And so Prince Street opened just so they could feed all of the people out working, and they were staying in a camper on site that was not very warm, and then someone was walking to work so that they could bake pizzas to feed people. There were other places that fixed big orders, that were open, that were filling big orders, just trying to make sure that people were fed because the normal resources weren't out there. So we've had too many crises, too many disasters in our community, but every single time, the sweet part of it is to see how the community responds and comes together and helps one another and cares for one another. And so for everyone that had a hand in helping someone, just thank you so, so much for that. A couple of events that I do want to mention for you all. I know they're here somewhere, which we are also working, just FYI, we are also working on if you'll look on our website, you will see on our social media, what do you know? Oh, I've got it here. You will see on our social media that there are some resources. There's SNAP benefit replacement resources. There's a cleanup resource. There's a damage reporting or a resource through TEMA. That doesn't mean that you will get any kind of benefit, but it's a way to measure so that we can understand if public assistance or government assistance is available. So it's important to do that. The crisis cleanup information that is there is actually a national organization that connects volunteers with people in need, especially for like tree help. And we had a meeting today. We're talking about trying to figure out a more local resource, but that national resource does exist. They are focused on the winter storm in this area, and there are people who are volunteering through there. And so while I can't make any promises, if you are in need of assistance, you might try that crisis cleanup. There's a hotline number and a way that you can submit either as a volunteer or as someone who needs help through their through the hotline number or the portal online. So the events I wanted to mention to you, coming up tomorrow, a Red Cross blood drive at the Civic Center, 12 to 4. There's a Will Awareness Workshop on the 5th, also at the Civic Center, 10 a.m. to 2 and 4 to 6. This Friday, the Sumner County NAACP is going to present The Best of Enemies at the Palace Theater. Saturday, the American Legion is having their Always Amazing Breakfast. There's also a community fest at the Shalom Zone. That's from 2 until 4. The Sumner County Museum will host their night at the museum. Tours are at 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30, and you can call the museum for more information. The Legal Aid Clinic is having an assistance opportunity on the 10th at the Civic Center. That's from 4 until 7. And then coming up on the 16th is President's Day, and most city offices are closed on that day. I would ask this council, I do have several road closures, and there may be people here for those. Do you want me to go through those really quickly, or do you want them at the end of the meeting? Okay. All right. So the first one, this is for a music video. It is a Sony music artist, a well-known artist. They want to do a video in downtown. It would be closing from 9 p.m. until 11 p.m. East Franklin from Water to Boyers, Franklin from Water to Enlow, and then Water from Public Square to Prince Street. For your information, because we typically don't have videos associated with street closures for y'all, very, very rarely, but when someone comes in, and we have companies that we've worked with a lot, they come in, we ask them the storyboard or the treatment for the music video, and we ask them for the lyrics for the song, because we don't want anything raunchy recorded here, you know? So that's their request. It's for the 18th, 9 to 11, and this is a company that we've had very, very good experience working with, and I'm proud that they keep coming back here. It does have all the signatures. It doesn't affect any businesses because it is after hours. So.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Fennell, second by Councilman Carter. Are there any questions? Okay, all in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, and then the others they're coming up. I think these are all for the chamber. The first is we'll work backwards, the Gallatin Christmas Parade on the 12th of December. It's only February, but hey, appreciate it. Closing the streets from 12 until 2. Steam plant from Airport to Hartsville Pike from Craft to Main from Main to Broadway, Broadway from Broadway to Oscar Smith. I think you all know what that event is all about. Motion by Vice Mayor Hayes, second by Councilman Carter. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that one's going to be considered approved as well. This next one is for the Gallatin Shamrock Run. It starts on the 14th. It is from 6:45 until 9:30 a.m. Closes Main Street from Hartsville Pike to Locust, Locust from Main Street to Broadway, Franklin from Locust to Boyers, Craft from East Main to Hartsville Pike from Craft to East Main, the City Hall parking lot from 6 p.m. Friday until 9:30 a.m. Saturday. There are signatures on here. I have had one inquiry from a business that I will follow up with the chamber about, but beyond that, it's for the 14th. I don't know if I said that. Motion by Vice Mayor Hayes, second by Councilman Jones. Are there questions? Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed say no. It is approved. This next one is for a pep rally on the square. It happens on, to be determined?
Yeah, to be determined.
I'm going to invite Ms. Baker or Mr. Vaughn to the podium.
Hi, good evening. Still to be determined. I think there's a letter in the packet. It's got a description of the dates that we're looking at right now. We're still working on finalizing that. On March 23rd, we'll meet with the principals of all 3 high schools and then pick a date that day.
So it could be on Monday, August 10th or 17th, Tuesday, August 11th or 18th, Thursday, August 13th or 20th.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's one of those
Yep.
6 days.
And that letter was given to all of the businesses that'll be open.
Okay, you will follow up with the businesses to let them know.
Yes, ma'am, I
So
will.
it's from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. You want to close Public Square from North Water to East Main, North Water from Franklin to Main, and East Franklin from North Water to North Boyers. The problem is getting cars out of there before 4:30. We ran into this in the past because most of those businesses do. The courthouse closes at 4:30, and I don't know that we can accommodate it before then. I mean, you're certainly welcome to start trying to load in there, but trying to close the road and get everybody out of there is always, there's going to have to be some flexibility.
Right, yes,
That's
ma'am.
just me talking. You guys weigh in.
We also flyer like the night before, the day before, and just like stick flyers on cars so people know that this is happening. But if they're in there while we're setting up, we'll happily let them out
Okay.
in the public square.
And can I ask you, Mr. Vaughn, to introduce
Yes, ma'am.
yourself for the record?
Yes, ma'am.
So-
Paul Vaughn, Gallatin Chamber of Commerce. I live at 246 Bate Avenue.
Hey, I'll also add on the pep rally.
Be sure.
Oh, I'm Kim Baker, 366 Woodlands Drive, Gallatin, Tennessee. One thing on the pep rally is the other roads, we need the L of the square, and we did a really good job, I think, this year flyering cars and letting people know. And we actually had somebody stand out there during the day, just say, hey, if you're here after 4:30, your car will be blocked in. But the other road closures are mainly for safety. If you were at the event or you saw the event, we poured into the streets, and we want to make sure that everybody is just safe. We also need to be able to park some vehicles along Franklin for unloading because we bus in a lot of students. This is a huge event, and it caught attention all over the region, so we're really excited to bring it back.
Yeah, I don't think we got to see it because I think you had it during a
Had
council
it on a
meeting.
Tuesday, and there's a lot of citizens wanting to speak that night that could not.
We heard it was a really long meeting.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun over on the square. I don't know if y'all did.
Well,
We're
okay.
hopeful that we don't wind up on a Tuesday again.
Well, that would be a
Yeah.
prompt not to. How about that?
Yep, and that is the end goal. There was a lot of different feedback from the principals, so we're gonna let them all weigh in. That's something we didn't do last year, but we have more time this year.
She's right. I mean, last year, when it was last time, it was much appreciated and well-liked, and it spread around social media. Unbelievable.
So that's kind of the deal, y'all.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Fennell, second by Councilman Alexander. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. It is approved. The next one is for the Gallatin Farm to Table. That's on the 19th of September. They want to close from Friday at 10 p.m. till Sunday at 2 a.m., and this is closing only the L of the square. And this does have the signatures from the businesses on that L of the square, and they've done this for several years, and I think people are kind of used to the rhythm of it.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Vice Mayor Hayes, second by Councilman Jones. Any? Carter, okay. He pointed at you and, okay. Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Okay, it is approved as well. Hey, that's it. No. Now we will go to the regular agenda. Chamber representatives, you are welcome. So the first item on the agenda is second reading on ordinance 02512-68. Councilman Pan, you're introduced for that.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $16,901 for repairs to the 2021 and 2025 Pierce Enforcer fire engine. I so move.
Motion by Councilman Fan, second by Councilman Fennell. Are there any questions? Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of second reading on ordinance 02512-68, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Second reading passes unanimously. Item 2 is second reading on ordinance 02512-72. Councilman Alexander.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $5,400 for employee training expenses. I so move.
Motion by Councilman Alexander, second by Councilman Carter. Are there questions? Is there discussion? This is second reading on ordinance 02512-72. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Passes unanimously. Item 3 is second reading on ordinance 02512-74. Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance of the City of Gallatin, Sumner County, Tennessee, amending Plan Gallatin community character map and sub-area designations map by changing the community character areas from the rural and suburban character areas to the general urban character area, and expanding the number 4 Gallatin Gateway Industrial Center sub-area onto a portion of a parcel totaling 325 plus or minus acres located south of Highway 31 and north of Gateway Drive. Motion to move.
Okay.
Motion by Councilman Jones, second by Councilman Fan. Are there any questions, any discussion? Okay, seeing none. This is second reading on ordinance 02512-74. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Does pass unanimously. That moves us now to item number 4, second reading on ordinance 02512-76. Vice Mayor Hayes.
Yes, this is an ordinance amending Gallatin Municipal Code, Chapter 12, regulating the use of tobacco and vapor products. Motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Hayes, second by Councilman Jones. Mrs. Carter? Keep guessing, Fennell?
Fennell or Carter.
Okay, pick one, Ms. Kittrell. I have one request associated with that. Can we set a date for it to take effect? Because I feel like we need to send out some notification to, I don't know what businesses it might affect.
The only thing that I can say, I was at a music venue Saturday night that typically has smoking inside of it. They quit smoking, and I had one person that I guess knew I was on city council, and I told them that we was addressing the issue, but I thought it was because of this one establishment. Okay.
No.
But anyways, it was already out into the community.
Yeah, they were one of the ones that I visited with early on, and they told, it was interesting. I mean, since this conversation started with all you guys a while ago, 3 of the places in Gallatin that had smoking all chose to go non-smoking. I am aware of one, but I've heard there are a few others that I'm not aware of.
I think a lot of people appreciate that, though, just for them doing it.
But there's one business that I'm not sure is going to appreciate it, and I've tried to call them multiple times.
Well, that wouldn't be effective for the cigar bar at all.
No. That, it doesn't apply for that. And this is for, venues where 21 and over establishments that allow smoking in addition to their other activities. It doesn't apply to vape shops. It doesn't apply to cigar bars. What else? That's about it. Okay.
So what date?
a few weeks, a month, I don't know. I mean,
And we would need a motion to amend the final passage to be it further ordained. It says it's going to take effect after final
April
passage.
1st, would that work?
yeah,
April
I
1st.
just don't want us to pass this tonight and then someone walk in somewhere and them have no idea that it's been passed. And we wouldn't violate them, we'd inform them, but sounds good. Okay,
Motion to amend to April 1st, effective date.
Second by, y'all are all pointing at each other. You're just messing with me at some point. No, he made the motion.
Second by Jones.
Okay, second by Councilman Jones. On the amendment to make it effective April 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, it is effective. We get back to the original motion, which makes it effective April 1. Any discussion on the original motion? Okay, all in favor of second reading on ordinance 02512-76 as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Does pass unanimously, although there wasn't a strong voice vote. Y'all, thank you so much. That row of people there on the second row have been your advocates for this for a while. And I thought they might speak at some point. There's some interesting stories and a whole lot of heart that supports this. And so these are people that have great stories to tell, one of whom is a musician. And you know, I told you a little bit of that in the background. So grateful for you all so much. And sorry to delay it, but I still feel like it's the right thing to do because there's still one I haven't chatted with directly. All right, we're going to move along to item number 5, second reading on ordinance 02601-1. Councilman Fan.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $442,372.65 for intersection improvements at Tulip, Poplar, and Belvedere Drive, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fan, second by Councilman Fennell. Any questions, any discussion? All in favor of second reading on 02601-1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. I think it will be a very good thing if you ever try to cross over that road. It passes unanimously. Item number 6 is second reading on ordinance 02601-5. Councilman Alexander.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $22,019.33 from revenue received from insurance for damaged vehicle and vehicle replacement. I so move.
Motion, second by Councilman Carter. Any discussion, questions? It's second reading on ordinance 02601-5. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Item passes unanimously. Item 7 is second reading on ordinance 02601-7. Councilman Fennell.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $12,000 in donations from Gallatin Ford for the purpose of purchasing mobile canine enclosures. Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Fennell, second by Councilman Fan. Any questions, any discussion? Okay, it's second reading on ordinance 02601-7. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Moving along to it passes unanimously. Item 8 is resolution R2512-96. Councilman Carter, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution of the City of Gallatin, Sumner County, Tennessee, adopting a plan of services for the annexation of a 5.09 plus or minus acre parcel located south of Highway 25 and east of Highway 109 and providing for an effective date. And I so move.
Motion by Councilman Carter, second by Councilman Jones. Is there questions? Are there questions? Is there discussion?
Mayor, this is
Councilman
the
Alexander?
Frank property, is that correct?
Who?
Thank you. Mr. Rose shook in the affirmative.
Okay.
Whose property?
Said Frank.
Frank is the last name.
Anyone? All right. Resolution R2512-96. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
No.
Okay, this passes 5 to 1. Thank you, my math. Passes 5 to 1. Item 9 is resolution R2512-97. Councilman Carter again.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a resolution of the City of Gallatin, Sumner County, Tennessee, annexing a 5.09 plus or minus acre parcel located south of Highway 25 and east of Highway 109 into the City of Gallatin, authorizing the annexed property to be indicated on the official zoning atlas, assigning the annexed area to a council district, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. And I so move.
Motion by Councilman Carter,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Hayes. Questions, discussion? Okay, this is Resolution R2512-97. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, say no. No. Okay, it passes 5-1. That concludes our regular agenda this evening. It brings us to other business. We do have some department heads with some reports. We'll start with Ms. Rachel Nichols, our Finance Director, with her report on the 2026 General Obligation Bond.
For the meeting this evening, I placed on your desk a report that we have to file with the State Comptroller's Office anytime we issue debt. The report gives the specifics about the bond issue that we made, that we had in January. The all-in true interest cost was 3.52 on out several digits. Interest rate, we did receive a premium on the bid. The front page gives just basic information. Second page reports any closing cost and cost to issue the bonds, broken down by the type of service that was provided. The third page shows all of the maturities and dates and interest rates of the pieces of the bond. And then the fourth page is just the submission detail and signatures. We're just required to present this. You don't have to vote on it or accept it or anything. We just have to be on record that you have been presented this document.
Would you expand a little bit and just talk about what a good rate it was for Gallatin and how many bidders we actually had and how that compared to other?
Yes, we received 14 bids, which was unheard of for
Never seen
us
that.
ever. Normally, we're really happy with 7 or 8, and we had double that amount. So there was a lot of interest in our deal. We have a really good credit rating, and people were excited to participate. The first 3 bids, I believe, were within .0000 of each other in interest rates that they submitted. So it was very competitive. The
Weren't all 14 like within 1/2 of a point or something? I mean, all 14.
.2, I believe, was the difference from top to bottom. So it was very tight cost or rates.
You guys have questions about that? That's a real testament to you all and certainly to our finance department and good management and really good management by all the department heads and smart investing and the things that we've done right for a whole lot of years. So I know you've led that, Ms. Nichols. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And thank y'all for approving the policies that we put before you, because that strengthens our standing with the credit rating agencies. They see that you are proactive in watching the city dollars, and they appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, and next, Mr. Brandon Howell has his second quarter report and are you addressing the audit? Yeah, okay.
Mayor and council members, have laid before you a couple of reports. The first one, if you'll see, is a quarterly report from your evaluations and revenue from the building department since October 1 till the end of the year for 2025. The first page is you'll look and see the revenue amount for those 3 months was over $1,408,253.21. And you'll see, as you go through it, you'll see it's divided up in your monthly report. The second page shows how many permits have been issued during that time. Right at almost 4,400 permits were issued. Majority of those are electrical permits. kind of got that divided out for you. I want to tell Cheyenne, our administrative assistant, she done a real good job with this and getting it put together for us. A majority is electrical. Then you'll see we go into mechanical, plumbing, and fire, all those above. And the last page you'll see is our inspections, and we've done almost 8,800 inspections during that quarter. And it's divided up, and I tried to do a little bit of math, and math ain't always my forte, but it's about a little over 1,100 inspections per inspector for a 3-month time. So if y'all see them, I give them a big shout if you don't mind. We appreciate it. The second one, if you will see, is a state audit report that we had this past fall. It started in September. This is an exempt jurisdiction audit that we have to have from the state. It's supposed to be every 3 years. This time it was done within 2 years of the last time. And Councilman Carter said before the meeting started, he had someone that wanted to know why we don't follow the state rules and all those things. This is why. Our codes are more extreme than the states are, and they audit us every 3 years on it. And if you'll see, I've highlighted for you that everything is adequate. And there's somebody said, well, adequate ain't great. Well, when you are rated by adequate, marginal, or inadequate, we got the best there is. So a lot of that was plan review, myself and Assistant Director Harris. We do most of the plan reviews, which thank goodness I'm hiring somebody here in about 2 weeks for that. So give us some help on that. But the state, when they came in, it was a day like today. It was raining outside, and I've very well decided that from now on when they come, I hope it's raining, because they didn't stay long. We walked through an apartment complex. I really wanted to take them out to Simpson Strong Tie. That's one of our nicest buildings in town. If y'all haven't been out there, it's a wonderful place, and I'm thankful that they built it here, and we were able to go through and help them with it. But they wanted to do an apartment complex, so that's where we went to down here, the ones across from Lowe's, the Gap Apartments. They walked through with us after they'd done their study on the plan reviews. Everything passed with flying colors. George Smith, one of the auditors, he walked through and he said, we're done. About 2 buildings and we were finished. He said, y'all passed everything. And we turned around and got in our vehicles and left. But if anybody questions and says things about why don't we follow the state, well, we do to an extent. They audit us every 3 years, and we have to pass that audit or we will not be an exempt jurisdiction. So, yes, sir.
Where does the audit team come from? Are they appointed, or is it coming from the state?
From the State Fire Marshal's office, and there's several of them from East Tennessee, West Tennessee, even here in Middle Tennessee. They have a certain team that's made up. They have one person that audits the plan reviewers, and he doesn't come on site. He does all of that electronically.
Thank you.
Other questions for Mr. Howell?
Thank you.
Thank you, and well done, and congratulations. Whenever I get an audit report for anything that's happened in the city, I'm always really nervous until I open it, but it's been very rare that I've opened it and had pain, so I was excited to see. Although I don't like how they just, like, your highest grade is adequate. I mean, you know, I'd like to see a stellar there because we had not one single problem with it. So I'm grateful for that. Is there any other business this evening?
I have something.
Okay, Councilman Carter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. So I wanted to address a post that was made on Facebook by one of my council colleagues as it pertains to me making the motion a couple of weeks ago to bring back the River Bend, I think, project because I was contacted by the developer. First and foremost, it's not my fault or any of our fault if a developer chooses to contact certain ones of us. I will also say this too, if we feel some type of way about that or it bothers us, then maybe as council members and as people, we should take a deep dive and look at self instead of putting misinformation and lies out there. I'm not being bought, pressured, or swayed by anybody, but I don't mind giving anybody a fair shake because one day I may have something that I want to do when I'm not on the council, and I would hope and pray to God that anybody would give me a fair chance. So I wanted to address that, and then just to say too, it's highly offensive to me personally and professionally. One of the comments was saying something about me and Paige being on the take or being for a developer. I didn't know Paige until I started on this council. I only knew of Paige. I didn't know anybody on this council until I got on the council but Linda Love, because she was a teacher and advisor in the club that I was there. But I don't have to be on the take. I don't have to have shady dealings because my mother raised a young man that I think is wonderful and she thinks is wonderful. She also raised me to get up every single day, to work hard and to make a way for myself, and not to be shady and not to wait for anybody to do anything for me. So if anybody thinks that I'm on the take, I'm not on the take. I have a part-time job that I work when I need to. I have a second part-time job that I work when I need to. And I go to work every single day to make a difference for myself, and I work my butt off for other people when nobody is looking, and I don't have to make an announcement about it because that's not what I was taught to do. But certainly, I'm not for any developer, but I am for giving any and everybody that comes through these doors into this chamber and that contacts me via phone or email a fair chance at what they think that they need to address with this council. Thank you, guys.
Councilman Carter, you were very respectful in your comments, and I think as you were talking, it made me think, that's probably one of the hardest things, is to think that we for so long had a great reputation where everyone worked with mutual respect for one another. You know what they say in the South about not airing your dirty laundry. And so when we had differences for so long, we talked them out and we worked through things. And every single one of you has done things that have made me mad. And I have never once gone on social media and said anything ugly about any of you. I don't know, Councilman Alexander. I'm not sure if you have yet. There's still time, I guess. But anyway, so I just I wish, and I saw so much grace this past week with the storm. It just makes me think, we're so much better when we can be kind to one another and when we can show one another grace and compassion and the benefit of the doubt. So anyway, but thank you.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I understand where Councilman Carter is coming from. I'm not on social media. I'm not on Facebook, but people screenshot and send me things, and it's awful and it's hurtful. And a lot of people just don't know the truth. There are people out there that spin up or insinuate things just to spin the public up. I just wish the public would be more aware and watch or ask questions, then you would really know what the truth is. But it's just sad when you have a person that spins up so much stuff out there in social media. Yeah.
And I fear that, all individuals are losing the power of discernment. But anyway, I digress. Anyone else with other business this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will move to public recognition on non-agenda related items. If you have something that wasn't on tonight's agenda that you want to talk about, this is your time. Again, you come to the podium, you have 5 minutes, and we need your name and address, and that's all there is to it. All right, seeing no one, you know what's next. I have a motion by Councilman Fennell, second by Councilman Carter. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned. It is 6:43 p.m. Thank you all for being with us this evening, and I wish you all a lovely and warm rest of the week. Would ask you to offer your prayer, support, and kindness to those who are still suffering with the aftermath of the ice storm and often no power. Have a good night. Take care.